little bit there, bud.
Oh my god!
Slow and stay right.
Very good. Very good indeed. Oh, needs the gear. Needs the gear, man. Son of a bitch. Look at him run away. Goddamn.
Common.
Well, there's first place right there. Let's not try to go too fast then. Oh my god, and we're gonna die too. Send some crazy vibes up ahead. Crazy vibes. You shall not get second place. Oh, Tyler. Oh, did you see that? Crazy vibes. Did you see that? He's only 6 seconds ahead. Whoop whoop. Yeah, I tell ya, it works. Jedi mind trick. Bitch, really? Come on. Take it around. Come on. Yes, thank you. Alright, that'll work. Okay.
What the fuck? Come on.
That's how to save it from that corner. That's how to save it right there, guys.
Yo, guys, what is happening? Seems like everything's working all right. Nice. All right, let's go. Very first time, I just loaded this shit, and gonna see how this plays out, if you know what I mean. Because I haven't touched this Beam NG for a while. I've been trying to practice on racing and stuff. I got a pretty monster headache going on with all the fires here in Spokane and around Spokane. It really actually kind of fucked me up, and normally the fire isn't taking out houses and burning everything inside that, which is kicking up a lot of chemicals and other shit. You know, you got a lot of different factors going on. Like, a lot of times it's out in the woods and it's just a wood fire, and so it just smells like campfire type deal. This is not smelling like campfire at all to me, so yeah, it's kind of really been messing with me in my head and my speech, like a really foggy brain. But I made mistakes and stuff like that, and oh cool, I don't know, it's a paddle shift. How's the view? Nope, that's not it. Okay, let's try this on. Camera. There we go. Apparently this is not set up for BMG. I'm not gonna hit all those cones, what the hell? Close enough? Okay, it's close enough. I can't see traffic, and apparently there was some. I'm curious why there's a... Well, wait. Why? Oh! Shit. Of course I have to glance and look and do stuff. Let's try that again. What gear am I? Oh, it helps if I'm steering the right way. Oh, and there is a car. He'll stop for me, right? Oh, they didn't stop for me. Jeez, maybe I should probably reset. Oh. Happened to look away for a second. Now my side of my car is all fucked up. This is the guy, after he ran me, you heard him, he started to do a burnout right there. Like, bro, don't be so mean. Couldn't stop him back up or anything? Yeah, I made him stop. He slammed on it. Oh, I thought that was the place that I was supposed to go. What is it? Okay. It's interesting to me, Get out of my way, fucker. Oh, Jesus. Okay. How it's starting out, yeah, with this rally. With, oh. I'm glad I can go through that. We're just gonna go a little off-road. This is a rally car anyway, you know? Synchronizer gear damaged? What? I'm not using my clutch because it's a paddle shift. Why would you clutch with a paddle shifter? Plus, I'm busy left foot braking, so I don't have time for a clutch. That guy was taking all the road. At least gives me a little time to try to get used to this physics. And the new update of... Jesus, that's a cliff. I kind of want to go off there just to see how the car will look after I'm done. I don't feel it's going to be good, but it'll look cool because pieces and parts start flying off these things. Oh, I was going to pass him. Oh, really? Oh, really? Did you see that guy? He doesn't have freaking brake lights, and he was brake checking me there. That was the inside passing. That's kind of perfect. Yikes. Oh, 5 miles an hour total. We're going, oh Jesus. Going inside. Again, what's a bus stop doing all the way down there? Does this work? Oh. No, my e-brake is not connected to this car anymore. Apparently, well, this car. What, are you gonna give me a ticket for speeding? This isn't even the rally, this is getting to the rally. Oh, are you really gonna stop? Yes, made it. Okay, we're fine. Coming around a blind corner, passing people. Oh, just chill. Okay, so we're almost coming to... All those boobs are going the other way. Perfect. Now, I think there's a way to reset the car, but we're just going to pretend everything was fine, and the guy that hit me and then did a burnout on my side, it didn't do any... It doesn't feel like it did anything to the car. So, we're good. Slow 30 meters. Oh, okay. Oh.
"30 seconds.
30-second clock. All right.
Check your belts are tight."
Oh. Not much RPM there.
15.
My Miata has
10.
more RPM than that.
Good luck.
Oh.
You jump to start. 2
Oh.
left tightens over crest. And
I-
slow,
he
2
said 10,
right,
good
7
luck.
tight hairpin
And then
left.
the light came on. Oh man, I kind of missed that. Oh,
And
damn it!
flat 4 left.
I don't have an e-brake. Kind of really would like to have my e-brake back. I could
And
go
care,
in and
tight
connect that,
6
but
right over bad
this is my
bumps.
first time, so we're just
Into
gonna
4 right.
take it kind of slow.
Caution 40. 3 right into water.
Oh, 3 right into water.
Into
Turn, car, please.
3 left plus, narrow. 80. 5 left plus, 40.
I need to listen to the dude.
Late, 3 left up. Into 4 right minus over crest. Opens over crest. 100 over jump. 6 left over crest. Into care. Jump into 3 left. And stop crest down 50.
Nice.
Turn
Nice.
1 right minus.
Oh, you had to do one right, huh?
40.
Oh, come on, that bush I should have easily ran over that. Get back on the track, everything's fine. Didn't even break my headlights.
Hairpin left. And water. Into turn square right.
I really need my
50.
square right.
5 left. And jump. And late. 4 left plus. Long. Opens. 150.
Come on.
Bump into 4 right minus. And jump into 4 right long.
Oh shit.
60.
That one. Oh, I missed it. Oh, it's fine. We're back on the road. Everything's cool. It's totally fine.
3 left plus. Opens.
Just checking the suspension.
Tightens. And bumpy 4 right long. And cut 5 right over crest. And 4 left. And
Wait, 5 right over crest.
Jump over
4
junction.
left. Okay.
into 3 right plus over crest.
Not used
And
to listening to
4 left.
the dude
And
talking.
5 left. 60.
Need to play more rallying events. Probably not. Like,
4 left up over crest.
but my first
And care. 3 left over crest.
time going through. Well, might as well. That's what
50.
I figured. It was like, might as well.
4 right tightens
very
over crest.
first where
Into
I'm
finish. And
the
crest.
worst. Okay. Perfect.
And crest. And turn tight hairpin right.
He said finish.
To stop.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. That was interesting. We'll try it again after I set up my... Is this the stop? Oh. Wait. Oh. I bet it's here. Yeah, give me my ticket. Okay, Jesus. Now we're on our way to the next piece. We're doing the whole loop because I've never done the loop and I've only did a few of these. What is that? A sign truck? I didn't even see there was a windshield on that motherfucker. Oh, okay, we're gonna slow down because there's a bridge and can't really pass too well on the bridges. Well, we'll time this right. Later, fuckers. Oh. Okay. Alright. Let's try not to jump the start here. Okay. We'll wait for the clock. Fucking hell.
30 seconds. Check your belts are tight.
Checked. Chickity check, chicken. Bolt yourself in. Squish back all the way. Barely can breathe. Perfect.
15. 10. Best of luck. 5, 4,
Okay,
3,
at least he was gonna tell me
2, 1, go. Crest.
This
And
one that-
6 left. Don't cut over crest.
And that all
200.
broke before, as soon as it disappeared at the 10-second
Care.
mark. I thought
4
I was
left
supposed
over
to go.
jump.
Obviously
100. Caution. Stop 6 right 40. Slow 2 left short onto narrow bridge.
not. Oh,
80.
cool track so far.
1
though.
right minus.
1 right minus.
100.
Where's okay? Oh! Too much, sir.
5 right over crest. Tightens 4. Narrow.
I wonder. Oh,
And
you know what I didn't do?
4
Mother
left
trucker.
minus opens.
I didn't. Can we pause for a second? That's probably the worst idea ever. I had these up, but okay, let it do its thing. Did it actually pick that up? Okay, now I'm connected. Now that's connected. Maybe that might actually work. Oh, it does say plugin working. Oh, okay. Cool. Let's get back to it now that I can actually see you guys if you were talking or when you're talking. Maybe? I don't know. We'll find that out. Do I have another place that I can see a chat? There. Now it's doing its thing. Okay, cool. At least there's that. Working. Damn. Options? Not driving assistance. I never need a driving assistance, except for the, going from one place to the other. That's definitely a thing. I would like to set my car advanced. Hide steering wheel? No. Performance plan? No. Gameplay? No. User interface? That could probably be where I'm needed. Let's just... Ooh. That's all I got here? That's all it's given me? Mother trucker. Controls. That would probably be the place. Weird. Vehicle specific. That's not what I want. Vehicle period. Parking brake. I guess that would be parking brake. Is there any others like e-brake? Because they call it a parking brake now. Because for the most part, parking brakes don't work on things. Smartly accurate. I want it to detect a new bind. I'm doing the bind. I'm pretty sure that's plugged in. I'm 99% sure that's plugged in. I could be wrong. Let's trace this wire real fast. Where are you going? Okay, you're going up there. You're doing the things. I think it's... Give me a fast sec. Damn it. Okay, it is plugged in. However, there's a thing about that. Let's exit. Weird, that's not doing stuff now. Did I miss something here? Combined throttle brake, steering axis, clutch. Neutral position. Where's the e-brake toggle? ETC. Drive mode, headlights, blah blah blah. Horn toggle, right hazards. I don't need any of those. Set cruise control. Nope. Don't need to do that. Increase. Temporarily decrease. Okay. So I could have swore at one time I had that working in the other part of the things. Alright, well, we got no A-brake. Just exit. How about back? How about no. How about that? Okay.
Into 4 left. Twisty 100. 6 left. And 5 right plus over crest. 6 left. And 6 right don't cut. 150.
Yeah, definitely. Don't cut that.
4 left minus, opens, stop crest 40, hairpin left up, 60.
Hairpin left, I needed to remember that.
Crest into caution, late 5 right, tightens 3 plus deceptive,
3 plus deceptive.
80. Late, 3 left short.
Oh, yep, that is deceptive. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Into 4 right, opens over crest. Into 3 right minus, 60. 2 left plus, long,
Oh, what do they mean by minus?
80.
I think I know what they mean by minus. Oh. Well, okay. We know now what they meant by minus. It starts out of the 3 right. Oh, come on, let me up there. You turkey. Oh, come on. Oh, I tried to go up in between that shit. That did not work out. Now, where am I at? It's so much dust into. Hold on. We need it. Oh, not that camera view. Okay. This is not gonna work. That's not. Okay, I see my problem. I see the situation here. Let's just mosey up over side hill it. Watch the rocks. Oh, there's so many rocks. Still not on the road. There we go. We're back. We're golden.
3 right, into late, 2 left.
No problem. Steering's a little fucked up. Okay. Yeah, steering's a lot fucked up.
And 2 right plus,
It
opens
turns
down.
left really good though.
And 4
Nothing
left
on
minus
to the
long,
right until I'm way over 90 degrees.
tightens.
Who'd have thought? Ooh.
And 6 left, 100. Late, 4 right minus, tightens 3 over crest, long. And bump, 5 left minus. And 5 left minus short.
It's a lot of
Crest
steering
into 4 right,
input.
60.
Except for left, it's like right on the money. Nothing's wrong at all going left.
Bump,
You
3
just gotta
right plus.
really watch the rights.
And caution, deceptive 4 right minus
Oh,
over crest.
I hate you with the deceptive bullshit. And it's a 4 right.
Into
but-
5 right, 5 left,
Okay.
80.
That's kind of.
Care, 4 right over crest, 60. Caution, stop crest down
Not cool.
into late hairpin left.
I think there's a way to,
To
oh
finish.
shit.
50, 2 right, 2 left, and
It's fine.
stop.
Didn't hit rocks. Oh, gonna hit rocks. Oh shit. Perfect. I think my car is a little fucked up, you know? Will it at least? Oh, Jesus. No? Press R to recover vehicle? No, that's... No. Recover... Well, we could restart mission, but that's like the whole mission, right? Quick actions? Nothing. Perfect. Okay, so R is not the thing. Okay. Exit that. Quick actions, challenge. Exit both those. Vehicle actions, challenge actions, vehicle actions. Toggle right signal. Cool. Features. Activate starter. Okay, no cruise control. We don't need. Toggle gearbox. Lights are gonna be pointing to the sky, so resume speed up. So, oh, this is cruise control. Okay. I'm kind of fucked. All right, perfect.
Thank you.
Whoa! Thanks for the follow. What's going down? Star is the hybrid. Nice. I can't really see. I guess we're fucking around with. I don't like. Really care for the follow this view here. It's just not as immersive. Well, the trucker's honking at me and shit. Oh, probably because my hood's open. Might be a little unlatched. Oh, got a car. Are all you guys turning that way? That dude was so nice, he waited for me. That's pretty cool. Whoa. Oh. Hey. Oh. I need to go that way. At least my engine's still good, I think. Yeah, water temp's fine. Fuel, perfect. There was really no reset on... is it, oh? No. Control Alt? No. Maybe. No. There probably is something there. Oh.
30 seconds.
I need to get to a start. Oh, cool. That's right here.
Check your belts are tight.
Okay, this is kind of
15.
freaking me out a little bit. So at least I have a chat so I can see people talking.
10. Good
I
luck.
appreciate that sub. Oh, I almost punched it again as soon as it changed.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Flat left over crest, bumpy 150. Care, 3 left on crest. 40, 3 right tightens over crest.
Man, I would like to have my car in kind of one piece.
And early 4 right minus over crest.
As long as I'm turning
Long
left, I'm perfect.
40,
Right, I'm not so great.
5 right. And care, deceptive 4 right, tightens
Oh.
over crest.
You gotta have more rights. Motherfucker, did he hear me and be like, yeah,
And
you got plenty of
3
rights.
left
going on."
minus, down. Straight over jump junction.
Oh, God. That was not a 3.
4 right minus. And turn short 5 left.
At least not what I
50.
perceived a 3 would
4
be.
left
I thought.
plus. 60.
I was looking at a hairpin there. I don't know. I need to listen to my
Late
dude.
4 right minus. Opens. tightens, and 4 left plus, long,
Too bad they don't give you any
Tightens.
chances to, fix your car
into jump,
like most other
and 5 left
rallies.
minus,
At least between
60,
you got 30 minutes. Better pick what you want to fix. Type deal. I would really like to fix my steering. That's all I
6
need to
right,
fix.
long.
Everything else seems fine.
tightens,
Rip
5
my
minus,
fucking hood off.
long,
That'd be great too. That'd be cool. You don't need no goddamn hood. Adds extra airflow, and keeps the turbo cool. I wish I
And
could take
jump,
that faster, but
and
when I'm
stop,
turning
5 right,
well
60,
over 90
turn,
degrees, just to
square
pretty
left,
much go straight,
into water,
doesn't work out so great. Come on. It does start kicking just over 90.
into, hairpin right,
You lied.
40, turn hairpin left up, narrow, and crest,
Oh,
into 3
back
right
there.
minus,
Who knew? Oh. Don't go too far to the right. I can't turn right very well. This car's supposed to be that bend up. When you go over a cliff, yes. I kind of went over a
and
cliff.
jump, into keep right
Initially,
over
it
crest
started
100.
out pretty straight, and everything was cool. But
Caution, deceptive keep left over jump, into
Now.
3 left, tightens down,
after you do it one time, just one time,
into
just
3 right,
3 left into 3 right. Okay.
and
Oh, fuck.
6
How about-
right, tightens,
Ugh.
80,
Oh, be fine, be cool, like it. I'm upside down. Ah, yeah, that's a good thing to know. Good thing to think about. Oh, come on. Oh, my wheel is so fucked up. Okay. Oh wait, I was supposed to go that way. Oh, and this is not doing a spinneroo like I wanted it to. Well, I'm still on. At least you can see that left tire really cranking. I think the right tire might be kind of just along for the ride. Kind of disconnected, one might say. Wait. This actually, that little rock hit might have actually helped my steering out a
stop,
little
caution 3 right, into
bit.
water,
What is he? Why did he say
Into.
stop?
3 left,
Oh, okay. Jesus.
into, 5
Alright.
left over
It's
crest,
fine. This is my first time getting this track down.
into caution, tidy 6 left over bad bumps,
I've never seen it. You guys are seeing it at the same time I am, so you could just
and stop 4 right, 30,
stop. Why? What the fuck is this stop and shit? And stop.
turn,
For right
tight
30?
hairpin right, and finish,
Okay.
2 left, and 3 right up over crest,
That way.
and 2 left to stop.
I want to go get through the whole thing at least one time before I reset this. This co-driver doesn't know how racing works. True. Okay, I'm not the only one then, because I was thinking he was giving me some bad advice. Really bad fucking advice. I'm not, he's like, and stop. Stop. Why do I have to stop? We're racing. I thought we were racing. And trying to go for a fast time, and now you're telling me to stop and then go to the what? I don't even understand. I didn't get that. Maybe he's telling me to stop because my car's all fucked up? I mean, he's not wrong. But I'm gonna fucking send it until the motor goes. Or I can't steer anymore. I don't have an e-brake, which sucks. Oh, sorry, car. Sorry, didn't mean to scare you, bro. Car wasn't doing steery things. I'm pretty sure that right tire is just, it's there for looks. If it is even still there. I didn't see it jump off and stuff. I could have swore I saw there was still a tire there. Give me my fucking tag, because I'm going for it, bitches. Jesus. I am really happy about the... Oh! Oh, the tire's still there. Cool. Actually, let's back up some more. So I can... You know, you can see the turbo. Oh, fuck. This is such a bad...
30 seconds.
Hold on. I got 30 seconds to zip my...
Check your belts are tight.
I don't think it has belts in it anymore. I think they broke. Okay.
15.
This is, you know...
10.
How your car
Good luck.
looks the first time you
We've
think
been
you're
given
gonna...
a new start minute. Make
Oh.
sure the car is staged at the start line.
Oh my god. I thought I was staged and...
1 minute.
That's good. I need a break. We need to do something about this. What is it? I know there... I think there's a button that will give me a new car, but... we're just gonna try to send it as far as we can. Get our first time down, and then, like, go fast, and... Faster, maybe?
30 seconds.
You really have to watch out when he says, you know, whatever corner, and then says deceiving, because it's a bunch of bullshit. It's really like, it says 3 right, deceiving, and it's really more like a, starts to look like a 3, and then goes to a 1,
15.
and then you're like, oh, and there's a cliff, and then maybe that might have happened.
10. We've been given a new start minute. Make sure the car is staged at the start
Now
line.
I have to back up? Oh my god. I'm sorry, guys. I was...
1 minute.
How about up E? That doesn't do shit for me. Okay, fine. Whatever. Up plus E. I did do that. Oh, shifty. Okay.
5, 4, 3,
I was doing
2,
the up
1.
arrow.
Go. 3 left short. 80.
I'm glad it
2
was
right.
3 left.
Tightens 1.
As my car wouldn't
Opens.
turn that very well.
Into crest. 100.
We're gonna make it, guys. We're gonna make it. The whole way. Might be
4
slow,
left
but
plus
we're
over crest.
getting the track down. You know what I'm
50.
saying? We're working. We're taking Granny for a drive. You know, and she doesn't like go too fast. I'm probably going too fast
6
for right
right.
now, but she can suck
6 left. 40 up.
It's a lot of
5
steering
left
input
minus
for no steering.
40.
Just before it actually
Late.
steers.
4 left. 80.
Oh, we don't need another fucking cliff thing. This car cannot handle another cliff.
4 left plus.
I'm just
60.
shocked that the engine is working. It just says whoever constructed this
5
and
right,
added the
opens,
extra roll
tightens
tubes
4,
in there. They did a good
and
job, and
3 left.
we're thinking
tightens
about let's
2
protect
over
the
crest.
engine and radiator because some dope is fucking
Opens.
gonna
100.
toss us off a cliff once or twice on the way. Yep, right there.
6 right. Into bumpy. 3 right long.
Look at that split. It's in the green. Watch the fuck out. That's totally lying because it's the very first time you're doing this. That's why it's in the green. So just kind of go with it, okay? Just tell me how good I'm doing,
And
considering
6
all
left
things
up.
considered.
crest. Into 4 left. Into 3 right. Tightens.
My wheel is completely
And-
upside down before it turns to the left now.
Late.
It
3
was
left
turning
plus.
left really well before all the
60.
the extra cliff that I found.
2 right.
I saw
long.
the track down there and I was like, you know what? We can cut this
60.
corner.
Late 4 left.
2.
Tightens 3.
Come on. Do his little power slide. There you go. That's what I wanted. The first time I hit the gas and it just was like, we're still going straight. What are you...
Crest. Into 5 left. Tightens 4. Into 4 right. 80. Caution. Deceptive 3 left.
This.
Opens.
Watch his... I don't know. I've never been here, but I mean, when he says
Stop
deceptive
crest 40.
3, he's
Hairpin
fucking lying
right.
his balls off.
60.
That wasn't so much of a lie though, but now I heard a hairpin right, 60. Yep. This is gonna be fun. Okay, I'm prepped and ready for the right corner.
Crest, and early 4 right cut, long,
Kinda.
200,
I didn't take fences out and I didn't have to back up, so I call that a win right now with this car. It's fine. Whoa.
6 left, into
Okay.
6 right,
Alright. Moving along. We're taking this road way too fast for the steering capabilities of said
and
car, I feel.
4 left plus over crest,
Especially with a long
and
drop off the side.
5 right, 150,
Alright. Oh, I need to go left, please. Okay. Now I really need to go back to the right.
care, 6 right, tightens 4,
You guys see how much I'm
And
stirring
5 right minus over crest,
stirring my
50.
steering wheel around here? I'm not steering anymore, I'm just stirring things and it's finally going
4
doing
left
what the
minus,
thing.
long,
Oh, come on.
stop 100, hairpin left into narrow bridge,
Stop 100. What?
80, short 2 right,
Hey, look at
left
that
over
spin.
200,
Okay, straighten it out, straighten it out. Where's straight? I don't know where straight is. About here. It seems about straight.
four right plus over jump, 100 over finish, crest, and
Hey,
6
look at
right over
another
crest.
finish, and I didn't
And
keep
Keep
die.
right down over crest to stop.
Yay, okay. We made it. And look at that split, it's in the green. Okay. I do know there's some button, but I haven't played this simulator long enough to figure out what is a actual true reset button. But we're just sending it. It's nice to go nice and slow first, right? Penalties 10 seconds because I jump started one time, so that's fine. I wish they would give me new tires because I feel as much thing as squealing as this doing just going straight. Come on, right? I think I'm burning my tires off. Just saying. Oh, sorry, car. But look at the temperature on this thing. It's a fucking choice. Okay. I had full lock and then it started staring, so just fucking calm down. Keep turning. Just keep turning until it responds. And try to go straight, but not too straight. Ow, ooh. Man, I think I have a little slop in my steering wheel. There's a little, like just a little dead zone. It's just like that much. It's not, it's really not so bad. It's not as bad as it looks. And same with the rest of the car. It was an aerodynamic choice. I wanted more downforce up front, so I figured just pop the hood. I made people stop and crash, it sounded like, behind me. Oh, that rock was coming up a lot quicker than I wanted it to. Where's my shift? Okay. My upshift was on my right hand, which is kind of weird for when I'm going straight. But it's legit. Hey, don't be braking on me, dude. We got a 75-mile-an-hour speed limit here. What the hell? Okay, fine, we're fine. Everything's good. Okay. Hey, don't be trying to turn at me. The guy might have just been paranoid because, you know, he's like, can that driver even see? I got a different view, okay? I got the periscope option that runs where I'm looking at my, what is that, the 360 cam on the back, you know? There's really a, it blocks all the bar and everything, give you the perfect, I think that's, okay. Pretty much full max to turn a little, that's about right. I'm actually utterly shocked and amazed I haven't been hitting any of these cars. Oh. And some of them, most of them I would even say, haven't been honking at me. Oh, that's a big truck. Van, whatever. Let's pass your bitch ass. Oh. Okay, we're fine, we're good. It's golden. It's no problem. I got this covered. Holy. Okay. Oh. I let the wheel go. It goes out to like it's maybe what it would be if, you know, like full spin and nothing happened. That my gear? Nope. I'm upside down. Okay. And backwards. Hey. Now I make you stop. Is that my gear? Okay. Oh shit! This is a long way to get to the next sector. Okay, thank God. I was having a little bit of problems there. Give me my ticket, you son of a bitch. You don't know what I went through. Oh, I got a service? I actually get this. That was it? Did I actually make it to the fucking end with this car? No way. Wanted to get it in the shade because we're gonna be here for a minute. Tuned for basic pace and consistency with generous recovery allowance per kilometer. Okay. Finish. 14. What? Finish in 18. Okay, I need to, you know, like, let's retry. Because that was a lot to take in right there. Repair on recovery. Oh. Well, if I would have known that, I would have just recovered, but I didn't think it was going to repair. But I'm glad we didn't. In the same sense. Whew. Okay. Alright. Oh, helps if I shift right. Now let's try that. Oh, it's 20 miles an hour. I'm gonna get penalty for it. Penalty? A penalty for said thing. Maybe not. Okay, start me off, you cracker. Oh, you guys are stopped waiting for me? Nice. Hey, you know, a brand new car works so good now. It's like toy steering, relatively. Oh. At least I don't have to go full 180 to make it do stuff. I mean, can't ask for much more than that. Oh, you scared? You scared? Because crazy rally drivers coming up your ass? Okay. Oh, He damn near tried to run me off the road. Did you see that? Okay, I think we can do some beating here. And I just may, if I have to, recover, because it'll give me a penalty anyway, but I already had lost 10 seconds, like that mattered, but... Are you driving... Grandma? You know your eyes aren't good enough to steer or to drive anymore. They took your license away 3 years ago, but there you go. Back on the road again. You know, you can't beat her up too much. She was going as fast as she could. Oh. Okay. It's weird the way the car feels now. It feels so responsive, almost too responsive comparative to what I was used to. I would really like that big old, well, that big old screen or the time thing doesn't, or it does go away, right? It's kind of in my way. Ooh, shit. Made it. Stay in your lane. Come on. That's a weird dirt to asphalt transition. Almost felt like I hit, oh fuck, snow. Ooh, Oh, you're fine. Can't see, but we're taking it. Okay, perfect. 5 more seconds would not have been great. Good. It's good. It's good. Shit. I wasn't expecting the jump there, and you know, when you're in the air, it doesn't steer very great. Oh, come on. Oh, I need to do faster than that. Oh, your mama. Your mama blows better than that, dude. Sorry. That was uncalled for. Okay. Maybe I should have came to a stop. Big enough track? Or a track? Regular road? Taking it around the inside. Let's go. I got places to pee and rallies to win. Okay, my car is in perfect mechanical and like the livery, you can tell the hood's not up in my face, you know, all that kind of stuff, and these fuckers are honking at me. What the hell? Give me my shit. Let's go. I can't see shit. Okay. Okay. That was a long little run, but...
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 2 left tightens over crest. And slow, 2 right, sudden tight hairpin left. and flat 4 left.
No e-brake, I just gotta
And
play it by
care,
ear
tighten
on
6
that.
right over bad bumps. Into 4 right.
Bad bumps?
Caution 40. 3 right into water.
Oh, right there, not right off the
Into.
hill.
3 left plus. Narrow.
You suck at giving me
80. 5
instructions,
left plus.
dude. Into
40.
Into what? I'm already past the water. Into what? And then, oh, 3 left. Oh.
Late. 3 left up. Into 4 right minus over crest. Opens over crest. 100 over jump. 6 left over
Funny.
crest. Into
I'm trying
care.
to look up,
Jump into
like,
3
over
left.
my hood in a
And
fucking video game.
stop crest down 50. Turn.
It's
1
like,
right
what the fuck
minus.
are you doing? Ooh, ooh. That rock
40.
was really big over there. That minus bullshit, I don't understand
Hairpin
what you're
left.
saying. Oh. Come on.
And water.
Oh, no, wrong gear. Oh, come on.
Into turn square right.
Perfect. Perfect. Turn square.
50.
Oh, right. Helps if I
5
was
left.
listening.
And jump. And late.
5
4
left jump
plus.
and late 4
Long.
left plus. I don't know what plus
Opens.
means either.
150.
It's fine. Opens 150.
Bump into 4 right minus. And jump into 4 right long. 60.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
3 left plus. Opens. Tightens. And bumpy 4 right.
I thought it was a second. I'm like, why is it bogging down?
And cut 5 right over crest. And 4 left. And jump over junction. Into 3 right plus over crest. And 4 left.
That was no jump.
And 5 left.
Well, if I
60.
was going faster, you were... Yeah.
4 left up over crest. And care. 3 left over crest. 50.
They lie with the 3s. Well, especially when
4
they say
right
deceiving.
tightens over
'cause
crest. Into finish. And
They're
crest.
deceiving you.
And crest. And turn tight hairpin right.
Okay.
To
That was a
stop.
lot of information. Holy shit. That was pretty intense in places. Okay. Not there. My timer should have stopped beforehand, right? Before, because there was another finish, but I don't know. I was going really slow. Because I thought we were already done. Oh, come on, don't. Oh, I wasn't in first? I didn't realize I was cranking that many gears. Let's go. All the beans. I need a drink. This is getting a little crazy.
30 seconds. Check your belts are tight.
Belt's tight. Could have told me that before the 30,
15.
like 10 seconds left. There's a lot of time to like squish your belts. Oh wait, need the side
10.
belts. Now I
Best
have to
of luck.
loosen the top ones and then tighten the side ones, then tighten the top ones. Otherwise, it's
5,
real easy to
4,
summarize.
3, 2, 1, go. Crest. And 6 left, don't cut over crest. 200.
6 left?
Care. 4 left over jump. 100. Caution, stop 6 right 40, slow 2 left short onto
Caution,
narrow
stop,
bridge.
6 right? It's a 6
80.
right. Why would I stop?
1
for
right
a
minus.
6? Oh.
100.
Oh, okay.
Five right over crest. Tightens 4, narrow. And 4 left minus opens.
This 4 left minus thing doesn't
Into
make
4 left.
I don't know. Ooh, I know
Twisty
now.
100.
I know now. It means it goes to 4 left and then it's like a
6
fucking-
left. And 5
A
right
lot
plus over
sharper.
crest. 6 left. And 6 right don't cut. 150.
Okay, moving on. Everything's fine.
4 left minus opens. Stop crest 40. Hairpin left up. 60.
Hairpin up, 60. There you are. There you are.
Crest into caution. Late 5 right. Tightens 3 plus deceptive.
Oh, watch this. This is where I died last time.
80.
It's a long way down there. I'm not. I
Late
didn't go
3
that
left
long,
short.
but far.
Into
there was
4
rocks
right.
that stopped me?
Opens over crest.
Yeah. Not any trees out there. Rocks.
Into 3 right minus. 60.
Fuck you and your 3 right minus bullshit,
2
guys.
left plus. Long.
Oh. Okay.
80.
Fine. 2 right plus long. Yep, that's alright. Like a 2, sure.
3 right. Into late. 2 left. And 2 right plus. Opens down.
Shit. No. Oh. Let's watch our temperature there.
And 4 left minus long.
I took that dead
Tightens.
center. I think they give you a good.
And 6 left. 100.
My steering's a little fucked up. Thought they give you a
Late
good skid
4
plate
right
underneath
minus.
that, but
Tightens
apparently not.
3 over crest. Long. And
I hear noises
Bump,
that I have
5 left
never heard
minus.
before. So there's that. Oh, come on, turn car.
and 5 left minus short. Crest into 4 right. 60. Bump 3 right plus. And caution, deceptive 4 right minus over crest. Into 5 right, 5 left, 80.
Oh,
Care, 4 right over crest.
it's fine.
60.
Everything is good. Oh, not anymore. There was a rock. I don't know which way I'm going. Obviously, how could you, right? I see stuff. Let's pretend I'm supposed to be going. Well, come on. Nope, I'm going the wrong way. I flew over that. Okay, let's go this way. Oops. Everything was fine until then.
Caution, stop crest down into late hairpin left.
Stop crest. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Cheese and rice, man. Oh.
To
Oh,
finish.
no.
50,
No.
2 right.
Okay, no
2
rocks.
left,
No rocks.
and stop.
Oh, come on. We're gonna have to recover. No. Oh, dude.
To finish. 50, 2 right, 2 left.
Ah, my car's
And
perfect
stop.
again. It's like nothing ever happened. Skeet. Who knew I could have just restarted that? I think I saw that. It didn't dawn on me. Right now, I'm still experiencing that really fog type brain where, yeah. Luckily, I feel I feel like I'm speaking all right. I'll have to review that because I might have thought I was speaking fine. But really not. Just let me know if there's a bunch of gibberish coming out, and just understand that there's a mad fires and the fucking houses burned to the ground, and so there's a lot of other very hazardous chemicals, probably fentanyl and fucking meth and shit that's floating around in this air. And this brain ain't used to doing that shit, so I barely even smoke weed anymore, so there's that. Oh. Okay. Really? Can you just get it down? Alright. Oh.
30 seconds.
Okay, we're...
Check your belts are tight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Flat left over crest. Bumpy 150. Care. 3 left on crest. 40. 3 right tightens over crest.
I can't see shit.
And early 4 right minus over crest. Long. 40.
I am on the ground. Everything's good. Okay, everything's not good. Apparently that tiny little flip and stuff kind of messed up my steering.
5 right.
What a weak ass car.
And care. Deceptive 4 right. Tightens over crest.
You have to do the deceptive shit?
And 3 left minus.
Hold on.
Down.
Let's recover vehicle. Oh, it won't let me. Oh, that's so mean.
Straight over jump junction.
I have to be
4
off the
right
track in
minus.
order to recover. I can't just recover it.
And turn short 5 left. 50. 4 left plus. 60.
There's one way to fix that little error, right?
Late.
You know
4
what
right
I'm saying?
minus. Opens. Tightens.
We'll try to make it through this stage with
And
a car like this and
4 left plus.
I'll get off
Long.
the road and then recover.
Tightens.
It's not doing too bad.
Into jump.
And
and
my mirror's in a good
5
place
left
where I can
minus.
check out my face
60.
while I'm driving. I bet
6
my
right
other, I bet
long.
my other mirror's like that
Tightens.
too. Come on.
5 minus. Long.
Steering is hard.
And jump. And stop. 5 right. 60. Turn. Square left. Into water.
Jump and stop and then 5 right? Is that what you wanted me to do? I'm just kind of coasting, okay.
Into
Oh,
hairpin right. 40.
Did he call
Turn
it a
hairpin left.
left?
Up. Narrow.
First? Maybe. I didn't hear it.
And crest.
Where am I going?
Into 3 right
I'm going
minus.
there. I'm going there. No rocks, no rocks. Perfect. Nice.
And jump. Into keep right over crest 100. Caution. Deceptive keep left over jump. Into 3 left.
You and your
Tightens down.
goddamn deceptive bullshit.
Into 3 right.
We're deceptive to 3 left. Oh
And
shit. Yeah, I think I
6
jumped
right
there too.
tightens.
Ooh,
80.
Fucking big ass rock. Really, and thanks for the caution cone. Couldn't have put some tires around that rock. I mean, so if you do
Stop.
hit it.
Caution 3 right. Into water. Into.
Hey,
3 left. Into. 5 left over crest. Into caution. Tidy 6 left over bad bumps. And stop. 4 right 30.
what? Where am I
Turn.
stopping?
Tight hairpin right. And finish. 2 left. And
I heard the hairpin
3 right,
right.
up over crest. And 2 left
Oh,
to stop.
I barely touched it. It can't be that bad. Okay. Let's go that way, and then let's try to recover and see if it's gonna let us back on. Yes. Perfect.
And 3 right up over crest. And 2 left to stop.
Okay. Oh. What's up, Nugs? Little sus guy. He's just little, bro. Good job on not going downstairs with Mom. Oh, come on. I guess that was okay. Oh, we're not doing that. It's like, hey, I'll pass you on the inside. No, now I'm gonna pass you over there. Okay, staged.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 3 left short, 80, 2 right, tightens 1, opens, into crest, 100.
Oh, does tighten to 1, doesn't it? He didn't say to Stevie, though. That's what threw me off.
4 left plus over crest, 50. 6 right, 6 left, 40 up, 5 left minus, 40, late, 4 left, 80,
Freaks me out when he starts
4 left
talking
plus.
minus. The plus makes sense.
60.
'Cause it starts out as a
5
4
right,
left and then
opens,
opens.
tightens 4,
Because he could have just said
and
Titans.
3
or
left, tightens,
loosens.
2 over crest,
I don't like this announcer
opens,
guy. I think he's trying to
100.
kill us. Co-driver sucks.
6 right, into bumpy, 3 right, long, and 6 left up, crest, into 4 left, into 3 right, tightens, and late 3 left plus, 60, 2 right, long,
Late 3 left plus.
60, late 4 left, tightens 3, crest, into 5 left, tightens 4, into 4 right, 80, caution, deceptive 3 left,
Oh goddamn you with
opens,
your deceptive bullshit.
stop crest 40, hairpin right, 60,
Oh, slow down. Slow the cut down.
crest, and early 4 right cut, long, 200,
This car might have an angle kit on it. I'm not, you know. When you give her all the turn, it turns really pretty sharp.
6 left,
Shit.
into 6 right, and 4 left plus over crest, and 5 right, 150, care, 6 right, tightens 4,
6 right tightens to 4.
And
Is that what they were saying?
5
I
right
think
minus
that's what
over
it says.
crest, 50,
Okay, that feels more like
4
F3.
left minus,
Oh
long,
shit! Oh
stop
shit!
100,
No! Oh,
hairpin
oh,
left
oh,
into
no,
narrow bridge,
Oh, no. Oh fuck!
80,
That's no bueno. Let's take it over and do the little clickety clacks and hey, everything's perfect again.
4 left minus, long, stop 100, hairpin left into narrow
That corner
bridge,
came out of nowhere. Did you see how he called that corner though? That did not make that much
80.
sense.
short 2 right,
Oh, that was supposed to be in
Left over
first. That was supposed to
200.
be in first. would work so much better had I been
4
the
right
first.
plus over jump, 100 over finish, crest, and 6 right over crest, and
You
keep
do
right
not
down
want to
over
jump that
crest.
bitch. That would be
Just
death.
stop.
There were some big ass rocks over there. Okay, we're moving right along. Felt pretty good about that section. Bastard and his deceiving crap. It's like that's really sus. Oh, come on. I have a lot of steer there. You should probably turn. You know that one time. It's that one time that you just totally flatten a fucking car. Can I get it like this? Okay, hold on. Let's see if I can Perfect. It's like it never even happened. Each minute late. Oh! I was looking at the penalties there. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Weird that we're gonna have to do that again. Take it easy, Jay. We're just going to the next stage. I've already wrecked the car 2 times on the way to go rally in. I wasn't going over the speed limit though. Not much. What are you doing? 12 miles an hour, bro? A guy in a fast car who doesn't know how to drive it in a midlife crisis. That's what that is. Whoa. Okay. Get out of my lane. Oop. Oh, don't be stomping like that. Right in front of a rock. Oh. That fucked up my car. Fuck you. Ugh. Bastard. That sucked. Okay, let's get going again. Car sounds great now. I barely touched that rock with my rear tire. Might have shunted it all the way down. But is it like it's dragging? Oh, you hitting the brakes, bro? Okay. Give me my shit. Yeah, this is a little bit rough. Un momento, por favor. Uh, today, Junior. This is not a streaming PC, so it's just pipe and shit from the other one. So why is it taking so long? Huh. Okay. Did we lock up and die? Could have. What the F? Question mark? Okay, now, honestly, I do not know. I think I've actually tried to look it up. What moment is in time wise, and it's a moment. It doesn't say it's like just 1 minute. It doesn't say it's like 15 seconds. But this is getting really long. This is a really long moment, and I have to pee, and I don't want to. Okay, actually, before I restart this and stuff, because I kind of wanted to finish this thing and see where we ended up at this time that I've reset the car a couple times from issues, but I was doing good for the first moment, and then the moment changed. But I'm gonna be right back. We'll see what happens. Okay, we're back. Still at uno momento. Well, that sucked. I really wanted to go doing things, and oh, nope, it doesn't care. I was just seeing if I can make it kick itself into place. There's no buttons I can do, so we're just gonna do the task manager thing. Where's my task manager? Aha. And then, unfortunately, it says it's trying to do stuff. But we'll end task. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Error occurred. No way. Okay, can turn off. Do the things. Whoa. I got a bug error code. Move data, firewall, whatever. That's BMG documentation. Yeah, it has exited unexpectedly. Do I just send that? Contact information. Yeah, do the hashing files. Let's just do the integrity check, because we did just do an update, and I didn't do that in Steam, so that could be the problem. Maybe it didn't quite. After it does this, I think I'll probably... It already did the integrity check, so it's doing that now. One moment. At least we can see a thing that it's actually doing stuff, so that's cool. I didn't say it was an integrity error, but that's where it flew down to. It could have been. I don't recall what it said. And the weird thing was that processing was processing. CPU's doing CPU things. That was weird. Man, I wanted to see what my time is, but we'll try one more time, and then I'm gonna play a different game. I did, while it's 45 seconds left, I was able to download and... Oh, we don't have to do that. I don't need this anymore. My race videos from the racetrack, QRP. It seemed like there was more than that I saved. Is this... Oh wait, this is just... What? Oh. Why did that change? Anyway, let's look at this. Is this the actual... No, this is regular racing. Okay. Weird. It must have decided to change that. Yeah, this is the autocross. Or autocross at a racetrack. I let this guy. He's Joe. Joe, we don't need his last name. But he popped my cherry drifting on this track the weekend beforehand. Which is quite cool. Never mind about the miles per hour. I've noticed the GPS on this is really slow. So it's like a 70-second track. I believe this is my first time through this track, so. Holy crap, the latency on this is so fucking slow. Interesting. Maybe because it's loading, but it doesn't seem to do anything. It says excellent health. Excellent.
Starbucks energy refreshers now blended for the ultimate summer cool down. Fruity, smooth, cold,
to submit the information.
With B vitamins. Sip the flavors you love.
All right.
Drink mango dragon fruit or the new mango strawberry. Blended
Come on.
energy refreshers. A whole new way to energize. Get started.
Cold tires. How he set the track up, Dan, this was Dan's first time doing a track, and he set it up with a Forza line. Had a little, keeping too much speed through there a little bit. And cold tires. Those cones down there were the breaking point, and I know you'll see the rest. Hold on, you'll see the rest. Just fucking chill. This should be the rest. Yeah. Then we got a slalom here to kind of slow you down. Not slowing you down. It's full beans the whole way. Breaking point here, blind corner, just kind of keep your eye way over onto the side to find out where you're, and finish, and then back to do it all over again. I beat Beamers, I beat Porsches with a 99 Mazda Miata. Just throwing that out there. Oh wait, there was actually a timer there, wasn't he? Did he have the timer out? He fucking did. Jesus. Can't see it, but he had the timer. Which he should have had it more on the side of the road. Huh. That's funny. The Beamer that I beat, this is my first run. The Beamer that, well, two of the Beamers that I beat, which were high-end Beamers, with the wing on the back, they all looked really cool. Guy didn't know how to drive them, or he was taking it easy. He couldn't get into the 69s, and my first run was a 69, so there's that. I got a Viper, and I beat a Viper. He's learning this car. He's gotten better, but even with V10 power, I still beat him time-wise on that track, which is kind of shocking if you ask me. The guy in front of him is Dan, I believe he's still in there. It's the white, yeah, that's a white RX-7 that he saved from getting crushed. And put a 2.3 EcoBoost in it, 320 horsepower, 300 foot-pounds of torque. Thing is a fucking monster. And he was the second guy I drifted with. They were doing triples. We were drifting in triples. They were the only class that was doing 3 cars. A lot of guys were doing tandems, but
Of the Miata clan. No.
This was just a couple days ago. When the fire, obviously you see the fire. We got to watch the fire starting on yesterday, on Saturday, which sucked. One of the fires. There was 3 of them that were set.
Want to give him a second for it? Yeah.
So Joe, I think, took out some cones. So we had limited people helping. There was only 2 of us on a turn, and we were covering, or a couple turns, and we were covering a long span. So and I heard him say cones. I was like, we can give him a minute. I don't want to see a person run around out here. A little hot on that corner, because that turn drops away from you too. Tires are still coming up the temp. Alright. Let's jump back into beam here though real quick, but we'll finish this run out. He did a pretty cool layup on this compared to like Woody was the guy that builds tracks. He's like, make sure to slow these guys down, and he gets out here and he's like, fuck that, we're gonna go the Forza line, and so you can get an idea of how you're supposed to go through the track when there's no cones. I thought that was a really good idea. Made a couple corners a little harder and shit like that, but other than that, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. I got Beam started. I double clicked it. Just took a second. Just took a second. It's saying my bitrate's too low. Please set bitrate less than 6,000. Yeah, fuck you. Oh, because the bitrate's out of the recommended for Twitch. And YouTube likes a lot higher, so I did set 6,000. I think. Let's double check that in the settings up on the other computer. Output. 5,900. They can suck it. At least one or audio encoder is not set. What? Recording and streaming. Okay, good enough. We're just gonna leave it alone. It'll be fine. Cancel that shit. I don't want to hear that. We don't need to see it. Crazy thing is, though, in the screen or on Restream, I'm still watching the Miata crossing. Let's go to the one we wanted to do, or we started doing. Oh, hey, and I'll try to change the co-driver because that's co-guy was telling me to stop. Nice though, in over an hour, no drop frames. Knock on wood, everything's good. There was a Miata that was racing-ish, kinda. There was also a BRZ that was racing-ish, kinda. They're driving pretty slow. Oh. Shit, did I just get dinged? I just got a penalty for early or late, so it wasn't either. Oh, hello, car. Oh. You know, that's a key trick, right? Like I told you about motorcycles with head shake. And how your head shake stabilizer bar that they want to charge you $1,000 for. When it breaks, it doesn't, it's not if. It stops working. I believe on the CBR 600R it was a 14 Hertz resistor. Oh, that fooled the computer to think that my stabilizer bar was working perfectly. But in a car, you're like, motherfucker has to hit the brakes, you. Oh, shot! Oh. When you're like I did when I was coming into that corner too hot, I'm slamming on the brakes, car's tracking straight because I'm using all the traction to slow down and it won't brake. Lift off the brake as you're, you know, in the turn that you want to go. It'll generally try to turn. I know, pro tip. Head shake on a motorcycle? Gas it. Fucking get on it. And it'll straighten right out and everything will be perfect. Ooh. Can we get past that wood? Yeah. There was a cave, like a mine. I'm kind of half tempted to go back there. Got him. Oh. We're fine. Everything's fine. Don't you dare. Oh, he did. Watch it. Whoa. Oh my god, I slept so much today, although I was up at 4. Ooh. Oh shit. Get out of my way. Everything's made it. It's only 4 o'clock. Or 5 o'clock. That's not good. You honk your horn at me. These people are so horny around here. Ooh, by 12:12, did you see? I was 12:12 in 4 seconds. I don't even have an e-brake. Do I have an e-brake there? Nope, that's reverse. Oh, will it hold me? Nope. Okay, let's
30 seconds.
skip the clock. That's not what I wanted to do.
Check your belts are tight.
Yep, there they are. Let's go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 2 left tightens over crest. And slow, 2 right, sudden tight hairpin left. and flat 4 left,
No, not the rock.
and care, tighty 6 right over bad bumps,
Okay, we're going.
into 4 right, caution 40, 3 right into water,
Oh, shit. Okay, we're fine.
3 left plus, narrow, 80, 5 left plus, 40, late, 3 left up, into 4 right minus over crest, opens over crest,
That's perfect.
100 over jump, 6 left over crest, into care, jump into 3 left, and stop crest down 50, turn 1 right minus, 40,
I couldn't see there.
hairpin left,
Turn, you
and
fucking
water.
thing. Oh,
into turn square right, 50, 5 left,
oh, tree. Missed it.
and jump, and late, 4 left plus, long, opens, 150, bump into 4 right minus, and jump into 4 right long, 60, 3 left plus, opens, tightens, and
What are you
bumpy 4
talking
right,
about?
long, and
I
cut
forgot
5
to-
right over
I forgot to
crest,
change his dude.
and 4 left, and
Oh, cut 5
jump
left.
over junction,
Or 5.
into
What the
3
hell?
right plus over crest, and 4 left, and 5 left, 60, four left up over crest, and care, 3 left over crest, 50, 4 right tightens over crest, into finish, and
That was
crest,
the care.
and crest, and turn tight hairpin right to stop.
He's a little ahead of me on that one. Okay. Timed out pretty good. Okay. Just making sure I wasn't ahead of the game.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, crest. And 6 left, don't cut over crest, 200. Care, 4 left over jump, 100. Caution, stop 6 right 40, slow 2 left short onto narrow bridge,
Stop. 2
80.
left.
1 right minus,
I'm wondering where I need to stop.
100.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Five right over crest, tightens 4, narrow, and 4 left minus opens. Into 4 left. Twisty 100. 6 left. And 5 right plus over crest. 6 left. And 6 right don't cut. 150.
I guess my doors come opening ajar.
4 left minus opens. Stop crest 40. Hairpin left up. 60. Crest into caution. Late 5 right. Tightens 3 plus deceptive.
This is where it kills me.
80.
I've died there once before.
Late 3 left short. Into 4 right. Opens over crest. Into 3 right minus. 60. 2 left plus. Long. 80. Three right into late, 2 left, and 2 right plus opens down,
Oh shit.
and 4 left minus long, tightens, and 6 left, 100. Late 4 right minus, tightens 3 over crest, long, and bump 5 left minus,
This is a.
and
I
5
don't
left
even
minus
understand.
short, crest into 4 right, 60, bump 3 right plus, and caution, deceptive 4 right minus over crest, into 5 right, 5 left, 80,
That is deceptive. It makes you think you can go to the left.
care, 4 right over crest, 60, caution, stop crest down into late hairpin left,
Where's that hairpin?
to finish, 50, 2 right, 2 left, and stop.
Okay. Oh. So I was drifting the corner a little bit. No need to honk. I had control. Oh, not good. Not great. That should have worked better. $27.02. Oh, wrong way back. Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Flat left over crest, bumpy 150. Care, 3 left on crest. 40, 3 right tightens over crest.
I can't see shit. He said 3 right.
And early 4
Did I
right
hear that
minus
wrong?
over
I might have
crest.
heard that wrong.
Long, 40, 5 right. And
Just go by
care,
my
deceptive
memory.
4 right, tightens over crest. And 3 left minus, down. Straight over jump junction.
Oh. I think I've been off there before too.
4 right minus. And turn short 5 left. 50. 4 left plus. 60. Late 4 right minus. Opens. Tightens. And 4 left plus. Long. Tightens. Into jump.
Shit.
And 5 left minus. 60. 6 right long. Tightens 5 minus. Long.
Everything's fine. Five minus thing just
And jump.
kind of.
And stop 5 right 60. Turn square left. Into water.
Square left.
Into hairpin right. 40. Turn hairpin left up, narrow, and crest.
Oh, he
into
said
3
40.
right minus.
Yeah, I felt like it was farther than that. 40 yards goes fast when you're going at so many speed.
And jump into keep right over crest 100. Caution, deceptive keep left over jump into 3 left, tightens down into 3 right, and 6 right tightens.
Oh shit, that's
80.
That's that part.
Stop, caution 3 right, into water, into 3 left, into 5 left over crest, into caution, tidy 6 left over bad bumps, and stop 4 right 30. Turn tight hairpin right and finish 2 left and 3 right up over crest and 2 left to stop.
Phew. 306. I might like maybe get second if I keep this time up, but it's like 11 seconds to, or 11 minutes total, and I think my 369, and then 50. That's 10. This last stage. Where am I supposed to go? Hold on, let's do a camera. Oh. What did my... Did the screen die? Hold on, I'm seeing if it's gonna do stuff. Okay. We're back. I just had some weird issue on the viewing thing. Everything was probably fine, it just delayed itself out and kind of timed out, I guess. Wait, 34, okay. Skip that clock.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. 3 left short, 80, 2 right, tightens 1, opens, into crest, 100.
That's a That's a hell of a 2.
4 left plus over crest. 50. 6 right. 6 left. 40 up. 5 left minus. 40. Late. 4 left. 80. 4 left plus. 60. 5 right. Opens. Tightens 4. And 3 left. Tightens 2 over crest. Opens. 100. Six right into bumpy, 3 right long, and 6 left up, crest,
It's just a shrub.
into 4 left, into 3 right, tightens, and late 3 left plus, 60, 2 right long,
Oh, come on.
60,
Come on. Not that rock. Oh.
late 4 left, tightens 3, crest, into 5 left, tightens 4, into 4 right, 80, caution, deceptive 3 left, opens, stop crest 40, hairpin right,
Oh no. No, no, no. Oh. Oh.
60,
Didn't need that. Didn't need that on my my conscious.
stop crest 40, hairpin right, 60, crest, and early 4 right cut,
Turn.
long, 200, six left, into 6 right, and 4 left plus over crest, and 5 right, 150, care, 6 right, tightens 4, and 5 right minus over crest, 50, 4 left minus, long,
Oh.
stop 100, hairpin left into narrow bridge, 80, short 2 right,
Turn car.
left over
Please, sir.
200,
Need to get on this bridge. God, this headache is
4
coming
right
back.
plus over jump,
It's never really left.
100
but-
over finish, crest, and 6 right over crest, and keep right down over crest to stop.
So how much time did I lose resetting it? $350. So it counted against me pretty hard. Ooh, I was gonna drift that. I'm so glad I didn't. Well, I was gonna attempt to drift it. I don't have an e-brake, so. setting up for a nice slide there, and then I had a car coming, so it's a reason why you really shouldn't drift on regular public roads. I was on the dirt on that side. Is that what he was whining about? Hello, car. Oh. Let's reset since we're out here. Just cause, you know, might as well get a freebie car. Blind corner pass. Worked out. I didn't cut you off. You're so rude. Another totally blind corner pass. Perfect. Whoa. Only a minute late. Oh, we actually made it 12.48. Not bad. We're almost first. That was cool. That 350 killed me. Well, 341 also killed me, but if I can get him down to like 3 something. It's 1349. Tuned for solid pace and consistency with minimal recoveries per kilometer. Cool. Well, and I didn't even do recoveries on that first one because I didn't know that recovering it also repaired your car. I was driving with a car that didn't steer. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. I want to see before I leave here. Yeah. No. Come on, that drift. Weird. So do I do that? Why does it do that? But we'll at least have an e-brake. That'll be alright. Usable when drifting and also in parking. So, there's that. Alright, let me change this over. We'll play some little bit of iRacing, get a race in. While I'm doing that, let's click on another autocross race that we just did. I think, yeah. Okay. So let me update the titles. So while I did that, you guys got to watch that. Pretty cool, right? Nice. That was just happened this last weekend. That does kick that on and kick that on. Get some more people talking and yelling at me and being a bunch of bitches. I find that funny though. You know, I grew up basically on the drag strip because my dad and his
radio check.
well, basically my
radio
uncle,
check.
but uncle not in family, but it was like he was like an uncle. That's all they did. They just fixed cars, raced, and fixed the car, and raced, and broke said car, and fixed it, and raced. Shit, there's nobody at Silverstone there. 8 minutes for that one. That could be rough. Where's... Am I missing it? No, not it. There's a guy that has a Formula V in Spokane, Giuseppe, Raceway Park now, QRP, has a Formula V that he'll get rid of for less than $1,000. It'll be $1,000, but if I talk to his mom, then he'll pay for less, or he'll give it away for less. So there's that. Okayama there, that's kind of cool. Kinda. We'll do a fixed race. That's at 5:45. I'm kind of starving, I'm not gonna lie. So We got 7 minutes to fuck around. I'm not gonna register yet. I want to see how this plays out. In the Miata. We might ghost this race if I don't feel good, but it's Long Beach. It's not that hard of a track. Yes, it is. It's kind of twisted. If it, yeah, it doesn't seem like it, but it's a little bit more technical than. I don't know. It might all come back to me, and we got 7 minutes to decide. It's 5:22. They start at 5:30. You know. Come on, let's get in here so I can just jump right in and go. We'll see. Turn 1's tricky. Turn 11 is real tricky. Turn 4 isn't that bad. 5 is kind of shitty because you got more speed there. 8's obviously like an L-shaped corner. Come on. You could come on. Okay.
Pit lane speed limit is 40 miles per hour.
Give us a few clean laps to get our fuel numbers.
For them telling you that they fixed it and you can't, you don't use this and
Exit's clear. Push.
you can go a little faster than 40. So they still give you an advantage if you're willing to take the. That's if you have to pit. And so many of these races you don't have to pit. Wait. Did they make that a little wider?
Car left.
Oh,
On your left. Clear left.
We're on the left.
I didn't realize he was there. Oh, and he spun out. At least now I can see chat a lot easier than I was having to look over off to the side. Oh, that's a lie. I'm like, oh, I can stop at that 150 mark. Yeah, did you see how that worked out? Oh.
Let's make sure we rejoin safely.
Damage.
Hold. Clear.
Hold my ass.
Left side. Still there. Clear left.
On the left.
I had to slow down for him.
Right side. Still there. Clear right.
He's gonna run into that guy. Oh, no. I almost thought he was gonna plow him.
Left side. Car left.
Still there.
Hold your line. Clear left.
To the left.
Yeah, let's try to get this corner down.
Quickest overall.
Whoa, look at me go. 1 of 1. We need to probably start breaking you at about 300 point.
The leader has just done a
Oh.
137.02.
I think I might have a little wheel damage. Oh, I got more than wheel damage. We're gonna have to reset because car no turn no more. Okay, now check this
Front
out.
left, 99%. Right rear, 99. Black flag
Oh.
will need to pit to surface penalty. Exit's clear.
I
Stay
was
behind the
pushing
white
it.
line.
I was
Going to hold
pushing
you
it.
for a while.
27. We'll go in and
You're all clear. Stay behind the line.
no black flag.
You've got cold tyres. We need to get some heat into them.
I was nearly. It's quite a bit faster that way. Quite a bit. At 40 miles an hour. So don't buy in what authority tells you, right? You know what I'm saying. And if you don't, start learning that. If you don't know, you assume that the person that's telling you is correct, and if it has any advantage for them, so many people are pieces of shit and will use that advantage to see if you question their authority. Like the regional manager, you would think a regional manager would try to be a little bit more tactical
Stopped on the left.
in
Go
something.
right.
I asked to see my file because in my line of work I'm allowed to see my file, and instead of actually letting me see my file, both they blew me off. Then when I questioned that I had one of my write-ups fall off, and so this should be my second write-up, not my third and final. The regional actually said that, oh well, that was a two-step. Your second one was a two-step one. I'm like, well, if that was the case, then we would be having a different discussion right now. And because the first one hadn't fallen off when I got the second one, which both of them were bullshit. Total bullshit. You know, just completely super weirdly nitpicky. That's 5:30. We'll go hop in and do a ghost race and see how these guys are. See how I stuck up against them, and so I can get an actual practice race. I think we're gonna ask my little
Sector 2 is
while we're loading
2
up.
off
I
the
might
base.
jump over and start dinner. I don't want to get hangry. No one likes me when I'm hangry. I don't even like myself when I'm hangry, so there's that. And if I don't like myself, nobody's gonna like me, right? So, my optimal is way up there at the 136. At least now that
We've got good fuel
instead of
down.
the last one saying
Me too.
149.
Sector 3 is 0.5 off the base.
He's a 133.8. Okay, I knew I had a lot of room to go here.
They say
Oh,
you cut the course. You'll have to slow down.
how
and
is
give
that
up
a
the time
cut?
gain.
You'll need to give back the
I was
time gain.
using all the road, man. I was using all the fucking road. The row ads. That's so rude.
Sector 1 is 1.1 seconds off the base.
Yeah, I knew I needed to practice, and sure, there's some aliens out here, you know, that are cheating. No, I'm joking. I think they fixed the cheating grip hacks bullshit.
We'll need to come into the
Oh, I didn't.
sector 40.
That's okay, because we're just gonna jump out anyway. Oh, but the reason why I wrote what I did as my
You need to come in for this penalty in the next 3 laps.
thing, not really against anybody per se, but I fucking hate an announcer at a drag strip saying how good the driver is. The only thing you need to practice on is your reaction time. And if
Come on in for the black flag or you'll be disqualified.
it's quite easy, I suppose, to sleep on it, but you know, your whole thing is reaction time. And if you're bracket racing, you have a car that hits a bracket and you can't go over it. It's not too hard, really, right? It really isn't. Bink. So let's go to this race, see how, you know, get some practice in with guys that are, see where I end up, because there probably is quite a few Miatas. Definitely this Renault, never buy it, don't bother. Don't bother, I want to save you guys $12. It's a piece of shit. There's very limited racing. I know you guys from back over across the ocean think that it's a good idea. Fuck you, it's not. They're a shit car. I don't have, obviously I never bothered to buy it. I didn't buy it because I was smart enough to get on Twitch and watch people that were racing it, and then I'm like, are you guys fucking kidding me? What? This isn't a free car? Because if it was a free car, I might drive it a couple times. Kind of like the Solstice, or what was that, the Kia? That wasn't free, but I bought it. I bought it because I won a lot of credits on iRacing, and I just had money to burn, and it was free money, so it was really easy to burn. So there was that, and I thought that, well, I know Kias are pieces of shit, but I was like, well, it's kind of quick, you know, let's give it a shot. And I did for about a season, maybe 2. Tried to race that and the Cadillac, but obviously the Cadillac's a much better car. While we're running this, so we can kind of watch these guys do qualifying stuff with the qualifying things, I'll be right back. Gonna start dinner. Alright, we're back. We're bad. I'm happy you're glad. Oh. My coaster stuck to my cup. My iced tea tastes weird.
Just done at 133.54.
I should dump that out and get some more. It just tastes off. Let me do that, because and I'll wash my cup out better, because I don't know. Just doesn't taste quite correct. Yeah, I'll be right back. We'll watch these guys do their thing.
The guy behind has just done a 133.40.
MX5s, are you guys good if if we do a standing start? It's really good to leave a big gap to the GRs. I did it last night, it worked really good. We just do a standing start and I'll go on green.
Absolutely.
I'm down! Cool, then we'll just go on green and do standing start.
Yo, what's up, Dave?
Okay. Meg!
Good luck, everybody,
no, I
I
haven't
love
checked
you.
Discord. What?
The track temp is
I couldn't hear you.
105 Fahrenheit. The air temp is 78.
That's the John I
Our
remember.
class's strength of field is 2,006.
Doing pretty damn good, Meg. I have not looked at my
600.
Discord. I was chatting with another buddy of mine, D,
Okay, rolling start.
earlier.
Nice shop.
Where are these guys at? They're 38 seconds ahead. It's not gonna count against me if I really...
We should start
Max
5
car
wide.
speed is 45 miles per hour.
Rally cross
I'm
style.
doing okay. There's a lot of fires in Spokane area, which is
Now, let
really
me go up a
fucked
bit,
my head up, though.
Because you're on the inside.
Where is the... There we are.
This is gonna be rough.
Oh, damn it. Okay, we're just gonna start all the way back.
Got damage.
I got 29 seconds before they catch up.
Guys, please back up, bro. We're gonna be on them so fast.
I could have just flipped a bitch and went, but I didn't. And I still have to wait for the Miata, so... We'll stop right here.
Okay, Jason, get ready. Green.
That's for those guys. Evans... Let's see, there's one goddamn Renault, right? Total shit show. Were you gonna ask me something, babe? I haven't even started yet. That's a Renault.
There's an incident in turn 1.
First
There's an
Miata.
incident in turn 2.
Oh my god.
That's interesting.
Got one on your
On your
right.
right. Clear right.
Oh, and one more over on the right.
On your right. Go left.
Incident in
All
turn
clear,
5.
all clear.
Clear right.
On
On
your
I don't
your
even know
left.
how you
Clear
do
left.
that.
Stopped on the left. All
Yeah,
clear,
it
all
took
clear.
some style and lack of patience.
Car left. Clear left.
Clear on the left.
He high-fived the dolphin.
No patience whatsoever. Oh, what? The guy was up on a... Wow. Oh, I almost took that fucking corner of the wall out.
I don't know what that guy's name was, but that's not how you're supposed to drive a lap around this track.
And you can't park there. Especially the first lap
You're supposed
in
to
a
keep the tires
30-minute
on the
race,
road.
25 minutes race. Oh,
On your right. Still there. Clear right.
All clear, all clear.
On your left.
Got one on
Clear
your
left.
Clear on the left.
Left
Clear on
side.
the left.
Clear left.
All clear, all clear.
oh,
Got
Left
one on
side.
your left.
Clear left.
Clear on the left.
Dude, you're just slowing us down. Can you
Car
like
right.
that?
Hold your line.
That's ridiculous, Sean.
Hold your line.
Still there.
Dude, these GRs are atrocious.
Hold your line. Hold your line.
Left.
Hold your line. Clear right.
All clear, all clear.
Right side. Clear
All
right.
clear, all clear.
Car
Got
left.
one on your left.
3 wide. You're in the middle. Clear all round.
left.
On your
oh,
right.
now
Clear
he's fun.
right.
A tiny little Miazda? That's what I'm talking about with the smoke. It's my, not only like a brain fog, but
There's an incident in turn 6.
like, I am... Oh, okay, I'll definitely check you out.
That's awesome. The guy who dive bombed me fucking private messaged me in Spanish and blamed me. That's awesome. Not sure what he said, but I know he's blaming me.
Hey, I've been learning Spanish. I probably could figure out that it was... Yeah, this guy right here. That guy. Sean.
Right side. Clear right.
Brandon, who are you fighting?
On your left. Clear left.
Sean, you
right.
suck, dude.
Still there.
Clear right.
Clear on the right.
Left side. Clear left.
Clear on the left.
On your left. Clear left.
And this
Clear,
other
clear. Yeah,
Left
one on
side.
your left.
Clear left.
GR86 also sucks much.
Car right. Clear right.
All clear, all clear.
I'm not, I
Right,
don't feel
clear
I'm
right.
fast here
Right side.
by any means yet.
So, Michael, let's tread
Clear
carefully. I don't like what's up
Clear on the
there.
right.
On your
One on
left.
your left.
Likewise.
Clear on the left. Go left.
Incident in
Man,
turn 1.
that black guy just,
Clear left.
black BRZ or Toyota GR86 just died.
Clear left.
Clear, all
I nearly
Car
did.
left. Clear left.
Clear on
There's an
the left.
incident.
Hold your
Turn
brakes.
right.
Car stopped
37,
ahead.
31.
Got a car stopped ahead.
What an absolute idiot.
The car stopped ahead. Cool.
Got a slow car up ahead.
You just crashed this like 3 times because you rolled backwards, forwards, sideways, everything else.
You're doing exactly the same, Dakota.
31 needs to hold his brakes.
What
when he
in the
crashes.
fuck?
You're down in front of me.
Tucker is in GR86. Sean and
Take a look at the replay
Sebastian.
later.
I wasn't talking to you 12, I was talking to the 31.
That didn't work.
That's crashing again, rolling
Incident
backwards.
in turn 11.
Let's see how this. I straightened the wheel
I'm
out.
telling you that you will join in front
One
of
of your wheels is
the
out of
GR.
alignment. You'll have less grip out there.
It's a little out of alignment.
Got damage on
A
the
lot.
left
You
side.
got the
Yeah.
wrong car, bud.
Reduced aero might slow you down on the straight. 20 minutes to go.
Left side.
Really?
Clear left.
We'll check the replay
It's the
later.
reason why I wanted to practice, and I felt that I didn't have enough practice to do this right now.
The car in P3 just set the fastest lap.
Wrong car.
33.87.
You have a white MX-5.
No, actually, it's great. It has a giant lizard on it.
Okay, right. Cross in the middle of the truck. With
Car right. Clear right.
your car. You see.
Clear right.
Let's check it on the relative.
Muscle memory. Oh, didn't work out.
Interesting.
There's an incident in turn 6.
Go right.
Another BRZ.
Not even
or
sorry, this
Toyota.
no problem.
Doing Toyota things. Doing Subaru things. It's the heart that I hate about that platform. I just can't stand the Subaru engine. It's such a fucking failed design, and they just won't fix it. And then they fucked it up even more during, 2019 to 2024? 25 maybe even? In the non-turboed ones anyway. They decided to do some weird-ass plastic thermostat thing. It's a mere $500, and it's a high failure. So, there's that. I have a neighbor that has one. It's already been in the shop. But the funny part about it, I find so many people, when they buy a car, they don't do any research on said car. They just go by looks. And let me tell you something about looks. You can take a pile of shit and put a tuxedo on it, and it looks better, but then it's still a pile of shit. So just throwing that out there. Future reference. Do some research on your goddamn cars. It's one of the worst investments you can ever make, especially if you buy new. Especially if you pay MSRP and buy new. You're just hosed from the very beginning. turn, car. It has a little problem turning. It's one of those things. See, this track with this group of cars, you better have a high safety rating before you start, because you might not make it out alive.
33.74.
33. I'm at 35, so I at least caught a second with a damaged car. And my muscle memory is trying to screw myself up. I'll have a slow down there. That wasn't fast. Ooh, I might get down into the 34s maybe? Shut up, Petunia.
Mercado has been disqualified. There's an incident in turn 9.
Aren't we only on lap 3? We have to hit 17 X's to get disqualified, and right? Is it 17 still or 15? I can't recall. Oh, that time I was full turn, so I really messed up my car.
The leader just did a 33.691. The car in P3 just set the fastest lap. 33.603. Don't expect to change in conditions. You've got wheel damage.
Okay.
We got damage on the front end. You've got damage on the left side.
I mean, my steering wheel, as you see, it's a little cockeyed going straight. Not bad, though. It's not bad. Still turns alright. Turns better right than left, though. Oh, Horatio finally caught up, but I still got 4th place by 3.8 seconds.
Gap to P5 behind is now 4.0 seconds. 7 laps ahead.
7? No.
There's an incident in turn 8.
Car left, clear left.
All clear, all clear.
Right side, clear right.
Clear on the right.
He's 3.1 seconds now. He's been catching up. The other guy gone by 5.3. With a broken car. Oh, okay. He's gonna catch up a lot. Yep. I almost drifted that around there pretty good, but it didn't work out. I didn't mean to hip shift. There's a lot of RPM to play with. Oh my goodness. Oh, I scraped paint.
There's an incident behind.
Oh, people die. Oh, and that was Marcelo that's been working so hard to gain all that time, and then he just died. And he left. What a bitch. You get a free car here, don't you? I think you do. I would've went and got my free car. Because there's a lot of death. Unless he already did get his free card. No, then he wouldn't be that close. Never mind. Does it show me? Yep, you got fast repair. That's a key tip right there. Pro tip, guys. Use the fucking fast repair. Especially on tracks like this. There's gonna be a lot of deaths and a lot of little bitches that will just leave. 3 points, freebies all around. You are a freebie initially, sure, but don't lose your cool. Use it as a great time to get in there, get your fast repair, and practice for the next race. Or do like me and like run a ghost race just to see where I'm kind of hanging out there, you know.
10 minutes to go. We're in a podium position.
Because people die here all the time. It just takes one little fuck up and you're outie like clam chowdy.
Thank you, Brian.
I'm actually running a faster time. With a really broken car. Ooh! That was close. Whew. Please turn car.
Okay, Dakota.
Okay.
They will tell you how to run. Don't worry.
Laps ahead. There's an incident in turn 1.
Loser.
Go left.
Has been disqualified.
At least they lasted a few laps, yeah. Uh-oh. Ouch. I thought I had that corner, and the tires said, nope, you don't, not at that speed, sir. Maybe I fixed it. Nope, I didn't fix the steering.
The track temperature's decreasing. It's now 97 Fahrenheit.
It's not bad. Still not bad. Jolene is a mere 2 seconds back, though.
On your right. Hold your line, clear right. Right side, clear right. On your left, clear left.
We're on the way.
It's one cool thing about practicing in a Ghost. You can really practice on driving close behind and just trusting your muscle memory to tell you where the track is, because you can't see it. It's kind of nice. I'm gonna have a Miata coming and catching me. About damn time, I'm pretty broken. Cat, you need to shut your trap, kitten. I told you no.
Just did a 34.131.
I give you all the time the chance to say sorry and apologize. You don't want to apologize? That's okay, no problem. It's your decision, it's your...
I just race people how they race me. If they're... the first incident, I call an accident, right? It's like, okay, yeah, you just screwed up and that was an accident. The second time you do that, it's like, oh, okay.
Left side, clear.
That's how we're gonna treat each other.
Come on, keep it together.
And I'm like,
On the
no
podium here.
problem.
Come on, Jason.
I'll make you look back at the corner and realize your mistake. And I'll do it in a way to where it's your fault. Which I don't like sticking my nose into their corner panel before a corner, because that's just that's a NASCAR thing, and you can do that in NASCAR because you're doing that. But in road racing, the guy in front of you it's his corner. If you're not next to him, it's not your corner, and you should back out. But if you don't, and he turns down into you and doesn't give you any room at all, then it's on. But if you're positioned in a place where he basically pit maneuvers himself, god damn, that sucks for him, doesn't it? Oh, I saw his mirror. Did you see that? Oh.
On your left. Clear left.
I saw myself in the mirror and god dang, I'm one sexy chap.
Left side. Still there, clear left.
Had a better line than I did. Well, better exit than I did. Good job, Jolene.
What happened there? I just forgot to turn.
And it looks like you kept your car pretty straight.
On your left, clear left.
We're on the left.
Car right. Clear right.
We're on the right.
My car does not like taking that corner at
Car
all.
left. Clear left.
We're on the left.
Dinner's ready? Okay. Food.
Incident in turn 1. We think it might be Calderari. 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes.
On your right. Clear right.
We're on the right.
Oh. She
Left
had
side, clear left.
We're on the left.
maybe she. Could be he. Had a slow down that I had to take care of. Trying to milk it, and then it didn't milk. It was dry. Ah, dang it.
If you're faster, you can make the
Clear
pass.
right. On your left. Clear left.
All clear, all clear.
Car left. Clear left.
All clear, all clear.
Still didn't straighten the car the wheel out though.
There's an incident in turn 1.
My fender has gotten rearranged a little bit. It's kind of sitting up high. Might work for those fast corners, but other than that. It wasn't an off, so I should not get a slowdown for it, right? Correct.
Left side. Hold your line. Clear left.
All clear,
Oh, the
all
car's
clear.
crunched now. Saw that fender up there.
Any shot you get through.
There's an
Turn
incident
left, one on your right.
Right side,
All
clear
all
right.
clear.
Left
one
side.
on your left.
Clear left.
Clear on the left.
My flag.
Thanks, I guess.
Oh, come on now. I was being lazy on that corner.
Intentions were there, execution was poor.
Just 2 minutes left. 2 minutes to go.
That didn't work out. I didn't hit that curb right.
Incident in turn 9.
Oh, he spun in front. Oh, he didn't. He caught himself.
Good race,
Right
fellas.
side. You're in the middle. 3 wide. Clear right.
Good race, guys. We'll see you around here.
Clear all
Guys,
round.
make sure you're on power setting 4.
Car right. Clear right.
All clear, all clear.
Yeah, good race, boys.
There's an incident in turn 1. Looks like it's Olsen and Barbini.
Car left.
Oh, he
Clear
stopped?
left.
All clear, all
Oh.
clear. We have a car stop.
There's an incident in
He must
turn
have
2.
had another...
We have a slow car on the right.
that sucks.
Graham has retired.
But not bad. I got my time. Well, best time is almost a 34. These guys, some of these guys are running
You've got 1 gallon left.
33s, but not very many. It's a pretty fun run. Pretty fun, you know, ghosting session. It just, that way it lets you know where you're going to be before you're dead. You know what I'm saying? Alright. I gotta go. It's time to eat. Thanks so much for hanging out. We've been, you know, getting some streaming going, so that's alright. Take it easy, guys. Don't have too much fun, and remember, drag racing drivers are not